Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Salma Febrianti. I'm from accounting management class of 2H and my number is 20. Today I will explain about the sales management. There are the table of content. The first is definition of sales management. The second is sales goals and processes. The third is sales organization. The next is sales techniques, and the last is factor affecting sales activity. The first one, I will talk about the definition of sales management. Okay, the definition of sales management is many, and I choose one of the professional. There is words of Rahman and Romino. Sales management includes recruiting, selecting, training, supervising, motivating, and evaluating the sales force. And based on several the explanation, I can conclude that the meaning of sales management is a process of compiling and managing the sales team of a company where the management includes the coordination and implementation of the sales operation and techniques so that a company can exceed the target that have been set. The second is sales goals and processes. We can see at the screen sales goals and sales processes are part of sales management, which will always be related to each other. Good and plain sales processes are needed to achieve the sales goals that have been set. The sales process itself can be defined as a plain series of activities at each stage of the sales funnel that is used as a guide in developing sales. The sales process begins with contacting the prospect and ends with completing the transaction. Each business, of course, has its unique, as well as in development of the sales process. The sales process should not only be similar to the buyer journey, but also be easy to understand, even for newly hired sales representative. And what's the point of many prospects if they fail to convert into customer? As discussed earlier, prospecting should be the first step in the sales process. Once you're done with prospect, a major part of the sales process is interaction. The whole series that has been described as the sales process will be closely related to sales goals, where the sales goals are the goals of the entire sales process that has been planned and is trying to be realized. And the determinant of sales goals is carried out so that the company itself process have a strong impetus to achieve the success parameters. And in essence, the sales process and sales goals are two things that have always be related. In simple terms, the sales process can be said as a series of activities that are planned and carried out achieve the sales goals that have been set for the sustainability of the company. Next is about the sales organization. By the definition, in the words of C. All Boiling, a good sales organization is one where the function of the department have been carefully planned and coordinated towards the objective of pulling the product in the hands of the customer, the whole effort being efficiently supervised and managed so that each function is carried out in the desired manner. The sales unit is a part that plays a very important role in the company, and the sales unit is arguably the spreadsheet of the company's sustainability. Therefore, sales unit is also represented as a legal unit. In addition, sorry for that. In addition, the sales unit must have always coordinate with other departments within the company, such as advertising, sales promotion, and distribution to chart out a sales program. It is also useful for evaluating related deficiencies in the sales processes that occur to be corrected in the future. Okay, next about the characteristic of sales organization. Sales organization has its own characteristic that distinguish from other organization or department within the company. In more detail, there are the characteristic of sales organization are mentioned in several points below. The first is sales organization is part of the total enterprise dealing with sales activity. The second is it consists of a group of people who handle different activities like distribution, advertising, selling, and etc. It works to achieve the sales objective like increasing sales volume and maximizing profit and market share of the company. And the next is there exists formal and informal relationship between a person engaged in selling activities. And it defines the duties, responsibilities, and rights of people in the selling job. In particular, each company has different sales characteristics, of course, that match the type of their company. And the differences in the sales characteristics of each company also certainly bring different characteristics to the sales department too. Next, the importance of sales organization. The first one is to plan purchase. The sales of the company depend on the sales anticipation. The sales will increase only when the customer purchase the goods or services. Therefore, the company has to plan the sales according to the customer need and want, meaning that where they want the product, what they want. The planning and development is done accordingly to satisfy the need of consumer. The second is to create pattern and of demand for the product. The demand of the product is created to lead a sale in the market. When a product is manufactured in a factory, it is not sold automatically. Salesperson views the product consumer, but even they cannot force the customer to buy their product. The sales depend on the customer need and perception. This need is created by the selling scale, promotion through advertisement, and etc., which in turn help in creating the demand in the market. And next is to handle the order received. This is an important step where the salesperson has to answer the call and queries of the customer, receive order, and make the product ready to as a per the demand of the consumer. And finally, the product are packaged and dispatched as the per the expectation of customer. All these are imperative and effective tasks. Next is about the types of sales management. We can see at the screen that the sales management is led by the sales manager, and the uh, uh, employee is advertising manager, personal selling manager, sales force manager, market research manager, and promotion and PR manager. This is the explanation. The first one is sales manager. A sales manager oversees a company's entire sales process. They are responsible for employee onboarding while they develop and implement a sales strategy that caters to the strength of the sales team. As a sales manager, you will have a hand in product development, market research, initial release, ongoing marketing, and data analysis. The role of sales manager is not specialized. However, it will still require years of education in addition to years of experience in retail environment. The second is advertising manager. Advertising manager refer to individuals who are in charge of advertising programs. The scope of responsibility includes planning, coordinating, budgeting, and implementing advertising programs. And next is personal selling manager. They are responsible for all process of providing information needed by business customer about clear and precise products. The personal selling manager must know the art of selling, approaching target business customer, presenting product, answering objection, and closing the sales. The next about Salesforce manager. They're defined as analyzing, planning, implementing, and controlling Salesforce activities to create customer value and build customer relationship. It is include designing sales for strategy and structure and recruiting, selecting, training, compensating, supervising, and evaluating the firm's sales pool. And next, we'll talk about market research manager. They are responsible for overseeing a team of marketing professionals working on a marketing project. As a marketing research manager, your job duties include managing the members, defining project goals, providing direction for making campaigns, and reviewing report made for market segment research. And the last about promotion and PR manager. The promotion and public relation manager is responsible for the company's relation with the public. The promotion and public relation manager will be the face of the company in front of the community or the public. The relationship will be instructed with a promotion process to build a public trust in the company. Next, we will talk about sales technique. The first step of sales technique is identifying the prospect. Practicing income strategies and script are important. However, gaining knowledge of the organization and the representative you're going to talk with is essential. This day, you may discover quite a great deal some things online which include the range of personnel and organization. Learning this it item approximately a prospect and the commercial enterprise they painting for will possibly assist you to pick up them as a tribal healthy and prevent time to painting on leads which are correct fits. The second is building rapport. Learning the way construct a rapport takes time. That's why it's one of the maximum hard income strategies to master. If you join the decision 10 minutes late, you'd assume that the income rep and prospect are built who frequently cross-fishing together, although they simply met. That kind of overall performance goal for a year of applying difficult painting and experience. However, it's something each sales clerk has to to achieve. On a brand new income reps introduction is to begin asking possibilities as whole lot of occasion which may be interpreted as intrusive. Alternatively, they reduce instantly to the factor and start imparting merchandise to early which comes off as a pushy. The next is identifying the prospect challenge and qualifying them. Before you strive in this income technique, it's essential that you've already flockered discovering the corporation, its wide variety of the employee, its state of affairs within inside the market, and its largest competition to look if there are a few matters you may perceive earlier than you name. To do this, it's essential that you explain for the one to invocation. People are much disdain more likely to cooperate and supply solution after they supply consent first and recognize the fee of the process. Your income crew wishes a listing of the standard income cation to help you hire recognize and your project will be growth. Next is presenting solution. This is a satisfactory art and one of the harder income strategies to master. It will take time, however, don't be discouraged. And here are a few income recommendations that will be help you immediately improve. The first one is be honest. People can inform you, have a real preference to a system. Lying and manipulating to show the deal is no way to the expert. The next is smile. People can inform a case you are smiling even on smartphone call. Smiling on a name can translate into high quality electricity and exhilaration, while speaking without smiling could make you sound monotone. The third one is be excited. Execute a private acceleration to the fact that you may see how lots of may assess the possibility to grow. And next is be confident. If you decide to strip income to the maximum simple level, it's a chance of confidence. And the last is talk slowly. If you can communicate a high pitch tone and too fast, you'll appear nervous. Make positive your tasks or your tone and speed and keep away from ingesting espresso or tea earlier than essential verbal exchange in case you are without problem taken by caffeine. Next is knowing when to say no. Sometimes, even though the possibility interesting, they are no longer a very good healthy for the company. When this happens, be honest. It's some distance higher to inform that the truth as they better to be consumer in multiply years or carry your rival. Next is handling objection. The quality method of this approach is coping with the hard place with the aid of using doing away with the match. In different words, deal with the difficulty earlier that it turns into an issue. If you are expecting that a few standard objections are going to return the conversation, make certain to say them earlier than possibility does. And the last is closing the deal. Sounds thousands of income books have been written with the aid of using income specialists approximately income strategies and technique for the final. But while you boil it down, there are some key income factors of all affectionately close deal. The first is timing is just right. The prospect has the bandwidth to deal with operating with you. The second is point have been addressed. Cost of inner gain, worry loss, awful positioning within the marketplace, inner challenge, and every other worry had been addressed both earlier than or at some stage in the near. Next is need has been created. The prospect has recognized their age and the one for the answer. Next is your company has been identified because the best solution. The prospect has been the self-belief that you are the final answer within inside the marketplace for this or her situation. The next is maintaining the relationship. Make a positive to pay attention and recognize their concern and worries. If your career cure takes typical communication, don't overlook to comply with up to peer how they are doing. And the very last of this chapter is creating an opportunity to upsell. Make certain to constantly be in search of possibility to upsell. A desirable manner to identify upselling possibilities is to have everyday updates from the customer care team. Next, we are going to talk about the factor affecting sales activity. The first one is emotional intelligence and salesperson performance. We can see at the screen the area of emotional intelligence has acquired excellent interest in organizational conduct and human useful resource management, especially in predicting work overall performance. Next is spiritual intelligence and salesperson performance. Spiritual intelligence has a superb effect on the direction of the place of job because of the outcomes of creativity, skill, abilities, values, and personal insight within the needs of the organization. And based on the finding and arguments of the one, the speculation in spiritual intelligence has a suburb impact on the sales clerk's overall performance. Next is personality and salesperson performance. Kawiana et al. In 2018 additional consult data are has been an effect of personal on personal overall performance in Bali, and based on the literature review, the 0.33 speculation proposed for this observation is as a follow. Personality has a subgroup impact on the sales force overall performance though. Next is competency and salesperson performance. Earlier at all, like before we convert in term personal competencies, salesmanship competencies, and technical competencies have found and gain impact on sales clerks' overall performance. I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening, and I hope you all understand about my explanation. Thank you for all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.